Welcome to the JP8 report. This is James Pierce with the JP8 report, episode 457. Welcome, everybody, and I apologize. Forgot to hit the mute button on my stream deck, so Y'all heard all my clicking and everything else over the last 5 minutes. I just realized I didn't. Oh man, I'm sorry. Okay, so welcome to the JP8 report. Um, as we get started, as you feel sorry for me, um, I would appreciate it if you click the little bell and toggle down to where it says follow and give me a bit of sympathy and click the follow button, please. And then give me a thumbs up for the episode itself. That would be great. And I say it over and over again. Every podcast I go to on Rumble, I always give a thumbs up, regardless if I follow them or not. I I do give them a thumbs up. And then if you want, get in the chat. Let's see if anyone's in the chat. Oh, Covite for life. Ah, okay, cool, Ricky. Hey, thanks for tuning in 2 times in one morning. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. All right, I may give you a biscuit on Friday morning when we go eat breakfast. Uh, no response. Oh my goodness, man. All right. All right, so where we at? Oh yeah, America 250. All right, so I got this really pretty cool letter from John Adams, the Samuel Holden Parsons, um, on 11th of August, 1776. Last evening, I received your letter from the 7th of July. It should have been August 1, I suppose. Um, it should have been August, I suppose. Um, I am perfectly of the opinion of the policy and the necessity of offering land to enlist soldiers. There is a difficulty attends it. Some colonies have no lands to give. There's always more land, right, guys? However, this might be got over if the general would recommend the measure, but it seems to me it never will be done until he does. Congress has already ordered a paymaster to every regiment. Whether these officers have been appointed or not, I can't say. If proper persons were recommended to Congress, they would be appointed at once. I can now inform you that we have made a great number of promotions, and give me leave to assure that none ever gave me more pleasure than yours. I had the pleasure of doing justice to your character upon the occasion, at least as far as my voice and testimony would go, from an acquaintance of about 24 years. Tyler is colonel of your regiment, and pretense Lieutenant Colonel Durkery, colonel of the 20th, and Knowlton, lieutenant colonel. Whether the promotions we have made to of general officers we will allay the discontent that you speak of, or increase them, I know not. Let the rank of officers be a delicate appoint at his will. The rank of the colonies is equally delicate and of more importance. The Massachusetts Bay has not its proportion of general officers, and the Massachusetts colonels I expect to be discontented. I can't help it. If they are brave men, I doubt not. But whether they are gentlemen of liberal education or of any knowledge of the world, of any spirit of command, of any extent of capacity, I know not. Never having had the pleasure of any acquaintance with any of them, save Porter, Sargent, and Ward. Of Porter and Ward, I have a very good opinion, but they stand low in the list. Knox and Porter must be promoted before long. I am grieved to my innermost soul for a province which I love and revere above all things in this world, excepting the whole of which is the most powerful part. I mean America. Winslow, Ruggles, Stolson, and Baker, and many other of our ablest officers were abandoned uh, Tories. Preble and Pomeroy were incapacitated with infirmities of age. Warren and Thomas are fallen. Ward, Fry, and Whitcomb have resigned, so has learned. Heath, unfortunately, has not a reputation equal to his merit. If this is owing to slander, I wish to God he would prove it to be slander. Nixon is brave, but has not a large mind that I can learn. It is this state of things that province which ought to have an indisputable superiority to every other upon the continent has now in this list of general officers undisputed inferiority. I will, I never will bear this long. Let it occasion what discontents it will be along with the colonels. Although I have hitherto seen the steady and advocate of promotions in accession generally as any man, I will nevertheless totally disregard the succession and exert the utmost endeavors to promote young fellows whose genius, learning, sentiment, authority, and spirit I can answer for over the heads of the old ones, who will leave it disputable whether they can either or not. I am out of patience at the dishonor and disgrace brought upon my native province. There were young gentlemen who have every qualification necessary. Osgood, Ward, Austin, Tudor. I wish they all had regiments. I have serious thoughts of moving to have our Major General Warren Lincoln or Orne made a Continental Major General. I know there would be a vote for it. Let me beg of you in confidence to give you the characters of our best Massachusetts field officers. I want to know if there are none fit for generals. If not, it is the high time we make new ones. If there is any partiality against the field officers of that province, and they are not recommended in proportion to their merit, I wish to know that because of such a partiality may be rectified. If the merit is inferior, I wish to know that. For better officers may be introduced in their stead. Excuse this freedom which I have indulged with confidence, that no ill use be made of it. I am with respect and esteem your affectionate servant, John Adams. Wow, that was an interesting letter. Uh, it seems like he was upset that more people from Massachusetts were kept colonels instead of generals. So it's like a power thing, right? It was a complaining letter, but there's a lot of military news inside of it about officers and the ranks and where they were at. All right. Well, thank y'all very much for letting me say that to y'all. And then the next issue is the armament shop. Whether you're looking for your first firearm, upgrading your setup, or need expert service, Jason at the Armament Shop is Copper's Code's premier source for all things shooting. Browse our wide selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, backed by top tier gunsmithing for repairs, along with reloading supplies and professional cleaning to keep your firearm in peak condition. Need a transfer? We make FFL transfers fast, easy, and affordable. Need your CHL? Jason can handle those classes both online and in person. He has over 3 decades of experience. Visit the Armament Shop today at 115A West Avenue D in Coppers Cove, or call or text 254 560 2023, or visit them at www.armamentshop.com. That's www.armamentshop.com. The Armament Shop, your safety is our priority. All right. Thank y'all. So a RAN update. And I said this during the what do you call it? JP's morning brief. Fox News has not always been putting up the RAN update, live updates, right? I don't know why, Maybe it's the number of riders they have or what, but it makes it really, really hard. So this morning, as I put my foot in my mouth, because I already did an Iran update, Fox News put a live update up. So I'm going to go over what I got, and then I'm going to go through what they have also to supplement what we have on here really quick. So Trump issues a response to Iran, which we will go over in just a couple minutes. Trump said that Iran is not getting through the blockade. He did say that yesterday. We have 20 ships with a naval blockade preventing everything that's going or leaving Iran from getting out or coming in. The spiritual leader appointed 6 new general officers. The War Department requested more funds for drone defense. Pentagon's working to increase production. We'll go over that just a little bit. And then the Iranian Misery Index hits a record 91.1% of the people in Iran are miserable. All right. So let me go over this real quick. With Iran update, let's see, live update. Pompeo says final deal with Iran is not remotely close. Warns Tehran has leverage over midterm elections. They're just playing the long game. Trade vessel stuck with projectile off the coast of Yemen. Let's see, it was an unknown projectile, so it's probably a drone. Israel's new submarine gives a major boost to Iranian deterrence. Trump bets economic pressure can squeeze Iran as regime's own failures deepen the pain because they're not paying their soldiers. As Iran installs new chiefs, new general officers. Pentagon races to buy 10,000 more missiles. We're going to go over that in a minute. Trump demands Iran compensate Americans. We're going to go over that. And that's all. So piecemeal. Let's go back. Go back. Oh, come on. You know what I hate? Pop-up ads. All right. So that being said, the Dow Jones closed yesterday at 53,975.98. It was down 60.95 points. West Texas Intermediate, about an hour ago, $82.32 a barrel. That dropped $2 a barrel in 2 hours. And Brent crude oil dropped $2 a barrel from within 2 hours to $87.72 a barrel. That's good news, right? So that's your Iran update, extended version. All right, so my announcements today, this evening, at 6 p.m., August 11th, at Giovanni's in Coppers Cove, is the Coppers Cove Conservative Club. That's our monthly social. And we're going to have a special guest speaker tonight, which is Sheriff Scott Williams. He will be talking about methamphetamines and fentanyl and drug abuse and the fight against it inside of Coryell County. Be there, please. Come, bring a friend. Our next one is Coryell County Republican Women, the annual Boots and Bling, which is the 22nd of August, 6 p.m. at the Texas Station Event Center. Dinner will be provided by El Tapatio. It will be a fajita dinner. The guest speaker is assistant to the governor, Steve Munaseri. And let's see, tickets are $50 a person. You can buy them at the QR code that's on the screen right now, or at that link right there. And I've got another alternate place for the link also. All right. So the next announcement is for the 27th of August, Pints and Politics in Gatesville, 6 p.m. at Ranchers in Gatesville at the corner of 84 and 36. All right. Next announcement will take place on the 29th of August. Coryell County Republican Party we're going to have a fundraiser, Patriot Range Day at Holly Gun Range. It's off Bald Knob Road, just south of Gatesville. $20. You shoot as much as you want. The armament shop will be there. Jason's going to bring some cool weapons out there, and he'll bring some extra ammo out there to resupply anything you fire. All right, and it's sponsored by Curmudgeons. You can't drink and shoot at the same time. You got to shoot first, and then after you're done shooting, well, I will be there. Good food in a way. Yeah, cool. Giovanni's awesome. That was Ricky talking. And then, oh yeah, you'll be able to pay for your $20 electronically at the range. We'll have a QR code out there you can scan. All right. And for our last announcement is for the Coryell County annual fish fry will take place on the 26th of September at 6 p.m. at the Texas Station Event Center. We'll have catfish and assortment, 2 guest speakers, Pete Flores, Senate District 24 for the state of Texas, and then the Republican Party of Texas Chairwoman Dorinda Randall will speak also. Those tickets are only $35 a person. You can buy tables at each one. So if you need to buy your tickets and we'd like to buy them in advance, both of them are open for sale right now, especially the Boots and Bling. But if you go to the description of the podcast for the episode, if you scroll down, you'll see more, or it may be on your screen right now, but you'll see one CCRW, Boots and Bling, CCRP, Fish Fry. Those are links right there where you can buy your tickets or sponsor a table. We'll see you there. All right. So those are now. And just if you're new to the podcast, you're like, what is he doing giving local announcements on a national podcast? Well, I'm glad you asked that. So I do say that because Republicans need to find what other Republicans are gathering. It can't be like the proverbial false narrative of an ostrich putting his head in the sand, because ostriches don't really do that. But neither I digress. But if Republicans know what other Republicans are at, they'll tend to go to those places and associate with said Republicans, and then becoming engaged in the process of like door knocking, rallies, stuff like that, voter registration, getting out to vote and getting their friends out to vote. We do that because you get engaged, you stay engaged. That's why I do that, okay? Just so you know, I just try to help. And then back to Ricky commented, I will be there, good food, and a way to learn what's going on at Giovanni's. Awesome comment. So Ricky's going to the 4 C's, the Coppers Cove Conservative Club tonight. There's one. Me, that makes 2. And we got a whole lot more people showing up too. That will be great. All right, hold on just a second here. Drinking my anti-British cold unsweet tea in my 1776 mug. You gotta laugh. Come on, people. Gotta laugh. Let's get this stuff going. All right, so President Trump responds. So Iran issued their list of demands. They wanted to get an agreement on the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump gave his, and I like his much better than what the Iranian General Vahidi said, or whoever said it, right? President Trump on Monday reacted to the Iranian demand that the U.S. compensate Tehran for the damage it sustained in an ongoing war, demanding that Iran in turn pay restitution for the Americans they killed over many years. I see that the representatives of the Islamic Republic of Iran are asking for compensation for the damage done to them during the last 5 months of military conflict. Started because, in all caps, they will not have a nuclear weapon, even though it was never mentioned in any of our negotiations or meetings. But it is an interesting idea because now I am likewise demanding compensation from Iran for all the people that they have killed and gravely wounded over the roadside bombs in many conflicts, for which they are famous and led initially by General Soleimani, who is no longer looking for his 72 virgins because he never found them, including the families of those killed in the USS Cole and the thousands of others killed in combat, like Major Alan Rogers, like Sergeant First Class, um, no, that's, oh man, Captain Mike Norman. Both of them are friends of mine that were killed by roadside. PFC Corey Hicks is another one, and countless hundreds of American soldiers killed by EFPs. Um, I was almost taken out by an Iranian mortar. Um, you know, I'm tired of it. The president is right on cue. It's exactly what he needs to do. Um, Additionally, compensation should be paid to the families of the hundreds of thousands of innocent protesters that Iran has killed over the past 50 years, not to mention the 52,000 that were killed in the last 5 months. I've instructed my representatives to put this firmly in any and all future negotiations. Um, he's right, and I opined in part of it because yes, I know people that's been killed by EFPs that were supplied by Iran. I know about the mortar strikes on top of our compounds. They killed many people and wounded hundreds of people. What about the 19 or 20 people that's been killed since February? Most of them were killed with indirect fire from the Iranians. What about all the civilians that have been wounded needlessly by Iranian indirect fire? President's on par. Like I said earlier, if I was in charge, if I was the president, the the Islamic Republic would be obsidian because we would glaze it over with glass from the heat of the explosions. Because I have no sympathy for the people. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the rhetoric. I'm so tired of it. Just get it over with. And I trust our president to do the right decisions, to make the right decisions. He's I know he's doing the right thing, but they are so lucky I'm not in charge because it'd be a completely different result. It's unbelievable. I had a friend that had to go out and investigate before 9/11 the explosion that killed dozens of American sailors on the USS Cole. I remember that stuff. It's just, man. Okay, let's go back to other stuff. Uh, this is about OPSEC. The next two stories are about OPSEC. Um, Trump used a catering truck, Air Force One decoy to evade Iranian threat. That's a report that came out of the Washington Post and an official. Okay? Now, I'm only going to read a portion of this and I'm going to give you my opinion on it. This is totally unbelievable. It should never have happened. President Donald Trump secretly aborted a third smaller U.S. military aircraft using an airport catering truck as cover to depart the NATO summit in Turkey in July, while using an older Air Force One jet um, as a decoy, according to reports, citing an official and other material it reviewed. The Washington Post reported that the undercover maneuver took place at Ankara airport amid a credible Iranian threat against the president. Trump had arrived at the Turkish capital on July 8th aboard the new Air Force One by Qatar. And following U.S. military strikes against Iranian targets earlier in the summer, intelligence identified a specific threat from Iran targeting the president's movements. To counter the threat, the U.S. security officials executed a ruse on the Turkish tarmac, according to the outlet. Trump walked up the stairs to the legacy blue and white Boeing 747 Special Air Mission, probably SAM 30,000, an older Air Force One, and waved to the news cameras before entering the cabin. Minutes later, Trump and a small team of aides were said to have stepped out of view into an airport catering truck that had been lifted to an exit door on the far side of the plane. Okay, so great maneuver, great execution by the Secret Service. I'm going to tell you that should have never made it to the papers, because it puts. I mean, how much longer are we going to allow people to give anonymous reporting to the newspapers about secret stuff like that? You put the president's life in jeopardy and his senior staff in jeopardy, because now the enemy knows we do other things besides just load them in aircraft and leave. Same thing with HMX. Okay, I mean, I served in the White House with the White House for 5 years. I know what happens. I know better than to talk about a lot of it. A whole lot that I know I can't talk about. All right. Hopefully, over the last 20 years, it's all been changed. I don't want to remember it. This stuff should have never been made public. Totally. It should have been. He got in his jet, flew. They landed about the same time. They got off. Hey, look, the president got off the new Air Force One. They didn't do that junk. Whoever is spilling the beans should be arrested and prosecuted, and they should lose their security clearances. Nobody should know what's going on with the security of the president. Now, another thing, right? Here's this article. It's in the Fox News, right? The Pentagon is preparing. The headline is Pentagon races to buy 10 times more missiles as Iran war dwindled arsenal. It threatens readiness for China and aggression. The thing is saying we're almost expended all of our ATACMs and prisms. That should not make the public news either. Why are they printing that? Who is telling the press about our stockpiles of missiles? Because, like it says, it threatens readiness for China aggression. It says, like, if we went to war against China, we would need a minimum of over 13,000 missiles, ATACMs, and prisms to be able to effectively conduct ground operations. But China should not know that at all. That should be classified. Who is telling our adversaries in the press about the amount of weaponry we have in stockage, how much we've fired? They should not know this stuff. The Pentagon is preparing a dramatic course correction after years of purchasing key missile defense interceptors in relatively modest numbers, even as China built up the world's largest arsenal of conventional ballistic and cruise missiles, and the U.S. increasingly focused on a threat of a conflict in Indo-Pacific. Following a string of heavy missile conflicts, because like Maverick says in Top Gun Maverick, Yeah, because they've learned to bomb the enemy at 35,000 feet, dropping bombs. That's all. No dogfighting, no ground troops. We're afraid to introduce ground troops against our enemy, but even though we can hold our own and win. But this article, it's on Fox News. It talks about budgets, about the number of missiles, the ability to procure missiles, what we need to be able to survive in combat. Stuff like that should not be addressed in the public eye. It should be classified and not talked about amongst anyone. I mean, I'm not going to go over any more about it, but that is true. That is true. Loose lips sink ships. It blows up aircraft in the sky, and it kills ground troops. So whoever is spilling the beans to our adversaries about what our defense production schedule is like, how many weapon systems we have operational, needs to cease. Stop it now. All right, on to other news because I've already went over 30 minutes so far. All right, Ben Jones. If you're a fan of Dukes of Hazzard, I'm sad to say that Ben Jones, Cooter, the mechanic in Hazard, Georgia, during the TV series, he died Sunday at age 84. He had a heart attack. He's getting ready to watch a baseball game, I believe. Uh, but yes, but what makes him famous besides being on the Dukes of Hazzard for 6 years plus two movies with them also. He was also a Republican congressman for 2 terms. Uh, but he passed away. He's a great matter of fact. If you done, and I mentioned this in the run up to the JP8 report, the morning brief, there is Cooter's museum in Nashville, over by the Grand Ole Opry and Gate the Opryland, USA. All right, because we stayed there a couple of years ago when we still had our business, and the morning before we were leaving, we went over to the museum. It was really cool in there. You can actually take your picture inside the General Lee, which is awesome. All right, if you know what the General Lee is, you know. All right. Uh, I tried singing the song by Waylon Jennings a little while ago. Nobody told me to stop singing, but I'm pretty sure they wished I did. All right. Next, uh, Todd Blanche sworn in as the new Attorney General of the United States. That happened yesterday afternoon. Todd Blanche was formally sworn in Monday as the Attorney General following a contentious confirmation process and now faces a series of legal cases and potential actions that will test the AG's ability to act independently of the president. And as numerous senators expressed concern, Trump's one-time defense attorney is still filling that role. And then key facts. Blanche was formally sworn in on Monday after being confirmed by a vote of 50 to 49, allowing him to become the new Attorney General. Uh, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins were the only two Republicans that crossed over to the dark side, to the Democrats, and voted against his nomination. But he still made it 50 to 49. Congratulations, Todd Blanche. You're the new Attorney General of the United States for the next 2+ years. He replaces Pam Bondi, which nobody has heard about in months. All right. She goes where all former appointees go. I don't know. Who cares, right? Trump promotes Will Scarf to the White House counsel. So if you don't know who Will Scarf is, Will Scarf is the get back here. Will Scarf is the young man that holds all the little portfolio books that he gives to the president and describes what the executive orders are when it's on TV. So, Mr. President, this deals with this, this. He gives it to the president. President signs it. That's Will Scarf. He is the staff secretary to the president. Well, as of September 1st, he will be the White House counsel. The duties of the White House counsel are primarily to advise on legal and policy questions related to the presidency. The office is the primary White House contact to the Justice Department. Scarf is a former federal prosecutor and represented him in a number of cases, including the Supreme Court, and as as Trump's appointed head of the National Capital Planning Commission. All right, congratulations to Will Scarf. Now, right now he's the staff secretary. I'll tell you the name of another staff secretary I did this morning. So when I worked for the White House, I was White House Communication Agency. I was a senior console controller to the president. One of the things we had to do was know what position everybody holds within the executive branch. All right, and as much as possible. Well, staff secretary, this guy. The other staff secretary I could actually remember because I've forgotten most of my stuff was Brett Kavanaugh, justice at the Supreme Court, was a staff secretary to President George Bush back in, I believe, 2002, 2003. But pretty cool, huh? So maybe Will Scarf might be a justice one day in the Supreme Court. You never know. All right, so next. President signed an executive order yesterday recommending a change in childhood vaccines, especially the MMR shot, mumps, measles, rubella. He wants them to be administered in 3 separate shots on 3 different visits to keep from giving them all at the same time. And my daughter was telling me that the reason why they did the MMR together was for convenience, not of necessity. So it doesn't hurt to get them in 3 different shot groups. So the president's recommending childhood shots be shrunk down to 11 different core shot groups to be able to get. And especially with MMR, who said that? I think my wife said, who determines what precedent they get to get their shots in? Well, I said, let's start with the basics. Keep it simple. We'll go with mumps first, then measles, then rubella, MMR. Let's do it like that. All right. Oh yeah, we're halfway through. If you are not already have clicked the follow for the podcast, please do so, and give me a like for the episode. Also, that would be great. But yeah, so and then the president also stated the vaccines for Hep B, COVID-19, and influenza, among others, will no longer be recommended for all children, citing religious and medical exemptions. All right, so change is coming. So just be prepared for it. Hold on. Oh my goodness. I'm losing my voice. Or it's already gone. All right, next. Back a couple months ago in Indiana, they had their primaries, and one of the president's endorsements failed, right? They did a recount. Recounts just finally finished, and I'm happy to say that Paula Copenhaver won the recount. And what does that matter is because the president endorsed 8 challengers to incumbent Republican state senators in Indiana, because those 8 Republican state senators voted against Governor Max Braun, so the president couldn't have a redistricted Indiana, because they were going to go to 7-1 or 8-0 in the state of Indiana in their congressional delegation for congressional districts. They all voted against it. They thumbed their nose at the president, President personally endorsed all these challengers, and now all 8 of them uh, have been have won. And that would be the latest loser, Spencer Derry, uh, from the 23rd State Senate District in Indiana, will now be looking for another job because Paula Copenhaver is going to win her election in November. Congratulations, Miss Paula. Good luck in November. We know you can do it. This tells everybody, don't diss on the president. He's doing what's best for our country. And please, don't act like Democrats. Man, like what's going on in the Senate right now. They have a pro forma session going on right now, even though they went on their 37-day paid vacation. $15,000 they're going to make by not working. But every 3 days, they have someone gavel in the Senate. Not because they can, because they do it to keep the president. Now, we have a Republican Congress, House, and Senate. But if they went on a recess for 37 days, the president would be able to appoint who he wants to 1-year terms. And in doing so, they're preventing the president from doing his job. So they keep thumbing their nose up at the president. The best thing can happen is the Republicans win the Senate in November, and John Thune no longer be the majority leader of the Republican Party. No, he can quit. They got a Republican governor. Get a new Republican in there. These Republicans keep thumbing their nose at Republican Republican presidents. It's got to end. It's got to end. Darlene Graham, another endorsement from President Trump. Her primary is today. It's a special primary due to the death of Lindsey Graham. So if you live in South Carolina and you are Republican, go vote for Darlene Graham. She said Lindsey Graham was a great senator, but she's going to forge her own path. She's a Republican. The president wants her to be a U.S. senator. It's good to bring fresh blood. All these other people that want to run, most of them are in their 70s. She's in her early 60s. We're only fooling ourselves by rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's what you call a politician that keeps running for office over and over again. We have one right here in Copper's Cove, Jay Manning. I mean, he's a nice guy. He just served 6 years on the city council. He's stepped down. He's been gone for a year and a half, and now he's going to run again. Why? Why can't we get fresh blood in there? We keep appointing the same people back to the same offices. Serve a couple of terms, step down, go do something new, right? That's how it is. But we get the same old, same old, same. We got Ralph Norman, 73 years old, congressman. He lost his bid to be governor. Now, I could be senator. So now he's running to be senator. We have Mark Sampson. Mark Sampson shouldn't even be in the race. This guy went AWOL from South Carolina for a whole week. His protective detail didn't even know where he was. And he flew to Argentina to be with his girlfriend for a whole week. His wife didn't even know that he was having an affair, an actual sexual affair with a lady from another country. And he was gone for a week and nobody knew. How he got reelected to Congress after he resigned being governor is unbelievable, because it should have never happened. But, so Darlene Graham, what are we doing on time? 8:45. It's that point in time. Hold on. I'm going to get the raid ready for Dan Bongino so we can finish strong. Okay, I'm all set. Let's continue on. All right. Um, so she said that she isn't trying to be a carbon copy of her late brother, Lindsay, but as she vies for the opportunity to fill the Senate seat long term, she's determined to carry on his legacy while forging a path of her own. I think Lindsay was an amazing senator. His interest was foreign relations and national security, as we know. And while national security is really important, I'm a little different. I want to focus on struggles of the South Carolina families because, like them, I feel the same struggles. I struggle too when I go shopping, and she says she's a bargain shopper also. If steak is not for sale, I don't buy it that week. I look uh, I look for the buy one get one free sale. So I think, like most South Carolinians, I live the struggles here too, and we have to get the economy booming and cut the government spending in order to get the prices down. I'm the same exact way. That's why I say vote for her. Now, I'm telling you, so the chances are she's not going to get 50%. If she doesn't get 50%, there's going to be a runoff because that's state law in South Carolina. So her or the two people that have finished in the top two will go at it again for the runoff on August 25th. They see who will be in the running November 3rd to be the next senator of the state of South Carolina. All right. Uh, there's also Vermont. There's also Minnesota, and there's also Wisconsin, and there's another state that's also having primaries today, right? Now the biggest one of them all is Wisconsin. Uh, Francesca Hong is the odds-on favorite. She's the incompetent lady that's leading in the polls right now in Wisconsin to be the Democrat nominee for governor. Tuesday evening's primaries for Wisconsin governor are likely to set up a stark match between a relatively conventional Republican candidate and a progressive socialist with a history of extreme positions. On the Republican side, Tom Tiffany is expected to become the nominee as he does not face a serious primary challenger, but the Democrat contest has been more crowded. Sarah Rodriguez, the lieutenant governor, dropped out a few weeks ago about fundraising scandal, and a former lieutenant governor Mandela Barnes ran for the nomination but dropped out also. I guess it doesn't uh, jive well being a lieutenant governor in Wisconsin. That leaves the Democrat Socialist Francesca Hong, State Senator Kelda Roys, and Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley and former State Administration Secretary Joel Brennan. And Hong is an odds-on big favorite to win that nomination. All right. She's the lady famous for saying to cancel Thanksgiving. Yeah. Now she turned around and a couple days ago said her favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. And she admittedly said that sometimes you say stuff on social media that you regret, but she's a cook, she's a chef. She had her own ramen noodle business, matter of fact. But she is very, very, very socialistic. So I wouldn't even vote for Tom Tiffany in Wisconsin. I don't know if they have a closed primary, open primary. If you're Republican, just go vote for Tiffany, get it over with. In November, vote for him again. All right. And there's other contests going on. 8:51. We're running out of time, And I still have a whole lot of stuff here. Um, Radical Democrat socialist platforms are in the spotlight as candidates surge in the primaries. Wherever you see DSA is beating the regular. Uh, oh, see you, Ricky. I'll see you this evening. You'll see platforms of the DSA overriding the platforms of the progressive challengers in the Democrat Party. But anytime they challenge a Republican, an incumbent, they lose. All right, not the Republican, but the DSA candidate. So I don't know if I want to go over this. Let's see. I want to go over this one. So I'm gonna put this over here. Fauci. So yesterday, Senator Rand Paul and Senator Ron Johnson started releasing text messages that Fauci had on his cell phone, his government cell phone, his iPhone. He had 522 voicemails stored on his phone, which I don't even know how that's even possible because if I get over 20, uh, my Android tells me I'm out of space for my. I don't know if he had a special attachment on there or something, but then he had 34,000 text messages on there, and most people. I have a lot of text messages also, right? But the vast majority of them have names on them. Would you believe that Anthony Fauci only had 3 contacts in his iPhone? That's all. The rest of them were a series of text messages just on phone numbers. Evidently, he had names memorized, the phone numbers, and didn't put them in his uh, contact list, or he had not a clue what he was doing with his phone because he's 85, so he's about 80 years old when all this was happening. But there are text messages, and I'm sure most people have already heard most of the stuff that's been coming out about from the cell phone with these messages, right? Um, so, just a little pretext. A Senate Republican leading the charge on investigating Dr. Anthony Fauci old government phone told Fox that the revelation that the former COVID czar was concerned that vaccines could cause miscarriages was just a tip of the iceberg. Senator Johnson, in an interview with Fox News, allegedly uh, that the first tranche of text messages from Fauci's old government iPhone was a clear sign that the man who became the face of the COVID response said one thing privately while taking a different message to the public. We quoted, we tell pregnant women, don't even have a glass of wine, and yet we coerce them, convince them, sometimes mandated them to get an experimental gene therapy as early as the first trimester. This was truly sick. And the way this has been, I've known this for years, but finally we could come out with a text associated with Saint Fauci. Uh, is finally getting the play the media has been deserving for years. Johnson and Senator Paul obtained Fauci's phone from his time as head of the NIA, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and the Department of Health and Human Services as part of their deeper dive into the former medical chief. Let's see. The conversation from January 2021 between Fauci, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, who was the CDC director, and Dr. Vivek Murtha, who was the Surgeon General. During the back and forth, Fauci admitted that he had concerns about the impact of mRNA vaccines on pregnant women. he said, I asked around a bit more, and then another issue came up that you need to be aware of, since many people have uh, significant cytokines, I think that's how you pronounce it, a storm and fever after the second dose. This theoretically could be associated with a miscarriage after the first trimester. Johnson charged that I've never heard of a federal health official admit that about the injections. Uh, you have what you have to connect this is to that they were publicly saying that the contrary to that is, but this is what they were publishing. So what they were saying is one thing, and then publicly they were saying everything was perfectly safe, when privately they suspected something was wrong with all these shots, specifically Moderna. Okay, and I'm a Moderna person also because I had 3 shots. I had the initial booster, one more booster, no more after that because I learned quickly. 857. So of the 827 women, 700 got their vaccination or injection in the third trimester. 127 in the trimester 1 and 2, which were the 104 miscarriages occurred. So the proper percentage of 104 divided by 127 is an 82% miscarriage rate with women who got their injection in the first, second trimester. I mean, that is shocking, and they knew it. I didn't even hear that percentage before that. I got friends that had miscarriages during that time frame. I'm not going to bring this up to them. Oh, wow. All right. So we're coming to an end. It's already 8:58. That is serious right there. Thank you all very much for tuning in today. Don't forget, if you're in the Coppers Cove area, come out to the Coppers Cove Conservative Club tonight. Enjoy yourself. Hear some disparaging news about the drug fight, but we all got to hear it, right? And I do know there's going to be 1 or 2 city council candidates out there, and maybe 1 or 2 school boards, so you'll be able to talk with them also, right? But and I am feeling a whole lot better than I did yesterday also. So I appreciate it. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. I am going to get the raid going because it is already 8:59. We got 45 seconds to Dan Bongino. All right, so let me get this going. Hope y'all learned a lot today. Keep y'all as informed as I can. Okay, the raid has been initiated. Got 11 seconds. I will catch y'all on the flip side. I'm out.